Okay. Looks like we have success. Alright, I'm just gonna turn just a few things here. Oh boy. Well, that was unnecessarily messy. Okay, so first things first, thank you. How's it going, everybody? Greetings there. Thanks for the heads up. I probably honestly would have kept streaming and not have noticed, because I have a restream feed that I go to check quality, and it was working fine there. It looks like it just wasn't working with Twitch for some reason. I have no idea why, but yeah, that's... I just changed the resolution on my... I changed two things. I changed the bit rate from the recommended default, which was 10K. Yeah, no kidding. And then it just decided, hey, I'm just gonna swap to make life miserable for you. And then I also changed the resolution so that it's no longer scaling from 1080 to 720. It's just recording at 720 now. I don't know why that mattered, or if it even does, but it fixed it. So, cheers, thank you very much, really appreciate it. That saved me a lot of headache. I'm gonna fix that right there. No, slightly more. And then we'll just grab the bottom of that a little bit. There we go. Haha. Invisible space. You don't even know what's there. Alrighty, so I started typing this out a little bit off this morning when I woke up. I've been doing a little bit of thinking as of late while I've been trying to regather all my notes and everything. And one of the things, I'm actually realizing that my microphone's like way off in the middle of nowhere, first off, so let's fix that. I also don't have a camera anymore because, well, that's just resource hog, and I have very limited resources right now. I'm not even entirely sure I can stream games right now, but we'll give it a shot. Worst comes to worst, I can always just record them and post them later. Yeah, if not, then I guess I'll be running without streaming for a bit until the computer gets replaced. So there's some checking and planning and working with that. I refuse to stop running games just because of a downstream, though. I don't care. I will run games like without recording if I have to. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll have somebody else record them and then just send them to me or stream them on my behalf. Whatever the case may be, I am not stopping the games for that. So, to the whole thing that I'm doing here, and oh, that's kind of lame that you can't do it like that. Can I just do... You know, you can do this with every other app out there, but you can't do it with the Twitch one. The Twitch app sucks. I have my stream manager open so that I don't have to have another window open on my thing. And on every other thing that has a video setting that you can pop out, you can move the video around. Can't do that with the Twitch app. So, you know, lame. But, whatever. Okay. So, on to the state of things. So, a couple of things that are currently affecting that most people know about this, but this is just kind of like me mostly rambling on about what I'm currently doing, what I kind of plan to do, and I mean, if people are here, I'm happy to hear their thoughts on the matter and just kind of go forward from there. So right now, current state of everything. So obviously, as most people I'm sure know, I am currently running, well, not currently running would be, I currently have 2 campaigns that have been left with cliffhangers in the world of the Fractured Shores, waiting for their 2nd season. And from there, depending upon how things go with my prospecting for a 3rd party, I haven't been getting a lot of attention for new people that are okay with streaming / recording. So I might have to start digging into people that have played before. And then I have some friends that I may actually just call on to see, hey, do you want to just hop in a game and go from there. Depending upon what I get. My minimum is, of course, 3 players. I should actually write a note here. which is need 3 minimum, 3 min players. But I don't mind going, 3. Actually, I should just change that to 3 to 6 players. Ideal. Never played. Ideal. Ideally. Okay. So, obviously there's always the ideal, which is people that have never played before. But if people have played before, I've had people that have played before in other games. Druid had played before. Pika has, he's a DM and plays at nauseum, and then in the last game, Sono was another player / experienced player / DM. So I have no problem with taking on people that have played before. I just always want people that have never played before to have a chance to play the game. That's always my goal. So if you know people that have never played and want to play and are okay with it being a streamed game, then have them hit me up. Have them invite them to the Discord server. Have them hit me up. So on and so on. Exactly. I want people to experience the game, and if they find that they really like it, then they can bring it to other people too. Like, one of the things that I absolutely would love, absolutely do love, is that Shadow took an interest in the game, became a player. He watched some of the previous campaign, became a player in one of my games, and now he runs his own games. I don't know if he's actually actively running or if it's just play by post, but whatever the case, he's running his own games now. Like, that is actually exactly what I hope to achieve. Like, that is literally, like, I've already done what I wanted to do, which is bring someone into the game, show them how great it is, and then they run their own, show it to other people. I think that, like, that's all I want. But, or at least when it comes to, bringing this game to people. Obviously, I'd like to do this, full time and as a living. Like, being able to do this more is what I want to do. So that's where a lot of this is going. And this is just kind of like my plans, thoughts, ideas, so on for the future of this channel, my content, and what I intend to create. So obviously I'm running 2 games with a planned 3 seasons. I plan to do season 2 with Sunken Treasure and Family's Birthright, and then ideally one incongruent after the other, same order, after I run a 3rd level 1 start campaign. Maybe a level 2 start, depending upon what setting I kind of find that I have to put people in. Along with that, I will be running the one-shots. I think I have a 10-player base. I haven't actually checked. This is intended to be expandable. I have to go on to Twitch itself and change all my about panels. Those are all kind of messy and needs to be updated and everything with a new look anyways. But the main thing that I need to do, need to make sure that I change on there, is that I am no longer attaching world player accept the ability to be accepted into the world game for like all the one shots and everything, to be a sub thing. I'm removing that. It's anybody that wants in can jump in to the pool, but I am gonna add some amendments saying like people need to be active, or basically if you decay for a long enough period of time, like you don't post, you don't have any involvement, you don't do anything, and part of this is my own fault as well, why it's not active, because I haven't been active there either. I've been focused on running the game and trying to figure out how I'm going to do everything anyways. I'm going to put in basically a stay of decay, that if you don't do something for like a month, then I will probably, give a little consultation and ask you what's going on and go from there. But that's a few. But that's a few other things. Actually, reminds me I should put this in here. World player. Fill out sheet. Okay, so. And of course, the other thing I want to keep, I am currently doing is, of course, is continuing to do world building. I'm in constant need of that. I'm still recovering notes as well. I have all the important stuff that I have to have back, but I don't have everything that I absolutely need back in my inventory yet. I'm still working on that, unfortunately, so there's a lot of work to be done there too. Yeah, there's still a bunch of notes and things that I need to recover. Things I should make regardless of other plans. So the things I need to make regardless of plans from here forward is I need to make pre-session 0 fill-out sheets. One of the things that I've noticed, and I had a conversation with I think 2 or 3 people over the course of this that were players in the last 2 campaigns. So of the 8 people that I talked to, or 8 of the last 8 players, 3 of them had made a comment to me saying like, "Hey, session 0 felt like it didn't quite cover everything. I know it's a lot, but you know, some like hard red lines and things like that, as well as preferences and different things like that." And I think having a pre-session 0 when people are interested, giving them some sort of fill-out sheet that would like account for things like hard red line, which I don't like talking about these things on stream because I feel like they're in a... Like, sometimes I think hard red lines are good to talk about in a session 0, but a lot of these things should be dealt with in private a lot of the time, because the DM is ultimately going to be pushing a lot of things and a lot of the scenarios forward, but most hard red lines I think are universally agreed upon, aside from things like phobias and stuff, like very specific things. Obviously there's certain things like preferences of play, but that comes through in session 0 stuff where I have adventures being picked out. So I have a couple of things that I'm just gonna do some research on and see and ask other people about what exactly they wish that they had talked about a bit beforehand, or things also things that are good for my own personal benefit, because I found that one of the things that was lacking, for example, was like phone numbers or something like that from someone, and me, or at the very least a secondary means of contact outside of Discord, so that if someone's missing I can contact them in some manner that is effective. Post-season fill-out sheet was mostly that's right. It's something that I intended to make but ended up not finishing before the end of Family's Birthright, which was all the things that I want to know, basically. Kind of like the survey stuff. Like, hey, what was your favorite thing that we did together? What are some things I can improve as a DM? What is something that you know, all those kind of sorts of questions. Is, you know, do you feel like it was time well spent, you know, hanging out with me? Would you do this again? All that other fun stuff. Like, and the other thing also is that I would also want to make this anonymous and have one person in the in the player group be handing me all these filled out sheets. That way I don't know who's saying what. Right, like that's one of those things, like I don't think it actually ultimately matters. I'm a person that believes in people having that encourages and believes that people will and should, and encourages enough of a spine out of someone that they can say whatever they want, and at the very least I will not judge them for it. I don't know about other people, but I think that people need to be able to state whatever they want to, without fear of somebody else saying something. Because I don't care what chat says. I don't care what a long list of people say, the other players. It doesn't matter. If you have something that you want to say to me and you think it needs to be said, regardless of how it may make me feel or others feel, you should say it, regardless. So that's one of those. But I know that anxiety-stricken people, fear-stricken people, me myself being a fear-stricken person by in general nature, understands that, you know, sometimes it's just not that simple, and it's easier to just fill out a questionnaire and call it a day. So I'm gonna just make it and stand by it. World player fill out sheet. I need this mostly for the purposes of measuring motivation. If someone's not willing, this is mostly for the motivational aspect. If someone's not willing to fill out a questionnaire of like availability and motive and things like that on a fill out sheet before we even get to character creation, then I don't even want to take them on as a potential player in the first place, because that means that they're gonna have minimal dedication. That's the other reason that I want to have the pre-session 0 fill out sheet, is so that if someone's not even willing to fill that out, then they're probably not even worth having as a player, because they're not going to pay attention to what's happening. Because contrary to what a lot of people think, what D&D is now, D&D is it's a note-taking game. It's a form-filling game. It's a game where you are constantly writing stuff down. That's how it used to be played. It's how it really is played to this day. The only difference is that we have a lot of stuff that just automates dice rolls, automates math for us. But the game is still the same. It's still very much a you're taking notes game. And if someone's not willing to fill out a pre-session 0 sheet, which I'm not going to have this longer than a single page, then it's not worth my. If it's not worth your time to do that, then you're not worth my time running a game for. Sounds harsh, but I don't think that's unfair. Okay, now to the actual stuff that everybody kind of actually cares about, and what it is that I actually plan to do from here forward. So, I am moving Twitch from. I mean, I say that I'm moving it to the back burner, and it's gonna sound weird because I haven't really been doing anything else that has been produced. But I had about 4 videos in the works of being done, both between scripts, recording, editing, and all that between various locations, or various degrees of being worked on, and I lost all of that when my computer died. So that set me back a bunch. But one of the things that I have been doing is on the background is working on YouTube videos. Main reason for this is that this is where we start getting into the side of this story or the side of this conversation that a lot of people that aren't really into content making don't really understand, I don't think. And a lot of people that want to try to be content creators but have seen little success in it don't see either, is I've been doing a lot of checking, and I mean a lot of checking, on videos and write-ups and all kinds of stuff from successful content creators, not your little guys that have their own theories, people that have made, you know, videos that get, you know, the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands of views or more, and what they say, and your big streamers. And a lot of them, most big streamers don't even start on Twitch, they start elsewhere. And so I'm going to be reducing Twitch to a live feature. Is essentially what it is in the first place, but everything else that I have to do on the content creation side has to be done elsewhere. One of the big benefits of Twitch is that it has a really good community base where there's cool stuff that you can do to get people involved in the during live sessions. So that's cool and all. YouTube doesn't really have that yet. They're working on it. If YouTube had it, I would probably just stream to YouTube. But the problem that YouTube has right now is they have very minimal live features, and they don't have a streaming culture yet, unlike Twitch. So that's the main reason why I'm sticking with Twitch, at least for that. And like I said, as long as I'm able to do it, I will be streaming games to Twitch as best I can. But back to the other main thing, which is focusing efforts on YouTube. So the big thing is the focusing the efforts on YouTube, and that is video creation. Now, obviously, there are things that we can do from there, which is things, including but not limited to highlights, various other from the games, and as well as small not small format, single video cut, single video cut. And what this would basically be is basically take all sessions. Oops. Take all sessions and cut it down. I need to actually expand this a little bit to just the important parts. And make a supercut. Should be video supercut. So actually session, not session, season. Supercut. Which is take all the seasons and cut it down to just the important parts and make a single video. This is one of those things where it's just like, that's an editing nightmare to me, and that's an idea that I really, really like, but I hate video editing. And that's the biggest problem, is I hate video editing. I love audio editing. I love the recording process. I don't mind script writing. I like the poor job. I like doing the poor job that I do to make thumbnails. I like the entire process except for the video editing, which is arguably the most important part. And that's like the one thing that I don't like to do, but it's a necessity. And those are just things that I can do out of like what I'm already currently doing. Other ideas that I have is obviously to figure out what kind of content I want to make. And that's the other thing, is that I need to find something different and get a system that works, or make one. And part of the thing that I'm struggling with right now is, what can I make that kind of sets me apart? Because I can't write better than half the people that write for D&D, like on Twitch or or on YouTube in general. Like, I can't write better than these people. A lot of them are like writers by trade, or they do a lot of other things and just are inherently much better storytellers than I am. It comes back to, what can I make as content that's going to be different from every other person on there? One of the things, and I'm hoping that I can get actually some of this information if I do post-season fill outs with everybody, like I can start asking them like, what are some things that they think that I do great and other things I do poorly. Because one of the things I obviously want to do is I want to improve. But if there's something in particular in there that I do, or at least by perception, do exceptionally well, in amongst the mundane riffraff that I call a D&D game that I run, then if there's a way that I can capitalize on that, I want to do it. So, you know, that's just one of those things where I'm not entirely certain as to how or what it is that I'm going to do to get there to do that. And maybe I'll surprise myself. Maybe I'll find out that there's something exceptionally well that I already do that I don't know, that I can't really pinpoint. Get a system that works well, or make one. Part of that is just one of those ideas where I kind of think that I could make a system in D&D, like make systems of stuff that let me try to phrase this again. Oh, this is going weird. There we go. Like, one of the things that I considered doing, and this is something that Glitchy actually kind of talked to me briefly about at one point or another. I can't remember exactly what the context of the conversation was, but that was setting up monsters. And one of the things that I said to him that I thought he really took away was very interesting was when I commented to him saying that when I build encounters, I build them with a number of rounds in mind, rather than, you know, like obviously there's a form of logic to it with the scenario, or a new form of logic with the nuance of the scenario, but when it came to what am I going to put in as creatures on a numerics base, it's number of rounds, because either you want to combat fast and snappy, and like really high energy, fast, snappy, you know, you kind of just body the monster. A good example of this actually in Family's Birthright was when there's actually two really good examples of this, and that is the secondary fight against the guard dog. I call it a guard dog, but it's really just an aberration kind of nightmare, where it kind of just got absolutely decimated by the party. Or an even better secondary example is really both fights against Corpse Raiser, because both of those battles went very, very quickly. There might have been a slow point in the first one, but because Argon popped off and kind of just bodied the zombies into a corner, or just forced all the zombies to be feared, the battle was essentially over right away. But he was a bitch and ran away. Hey, listen, there's a reason that wizards live. When the plan fails, you get out. You would not believe. Oh my goodness. There's the spell contingency. Oh man. Once I get contingency, you can't kill me with a wizard. It's so hard to kill a wizard that has contingencies in place, because they last like 10 days, I think, in 5th edition. In older editions, they used to last way longer. So you would just set up like contingency after contingency after contingency. You would spend unnecessary amounts of money into making contingencies, just so that you would continue to live. Especially if you were playing like an elven wizard, which meant that you had time on your side compared to most other races. Oh man. So one of the things that I considered doing is using what I kind of have as an internally set up system, because I don't have it really written out, at least not in a way that's consumable, is the way that I calculate monster battles, as well as how I design boss monsters. Because that's one of the things I think that baffles a lot of people. Even when I show people like the actual setups that I have, a lot of people, I think, really underestimate how powerful player characters are. Because I want to point something out, like when you guys, I think Darth's the only one here at the moment, yeah, when you guys fought Stonegrind, like, you guys basically started the fight off with it half finished, because you got because you had a hold person on him from the get-go, and that was for his first half of his hit points, essentially. Like, you guys smashed this guy into the ground and were ahead the entire time. And unconsciously, because you didn't actually gather the information that you needed for it, but there was ways that he could get like a ton of extra spirits out. There was he could have gotten oh man, there's so many ways that fight could have gone poorly for you guys, but you managed to just win by virtue of popping off at the start and limiting what he could do altogether. And not to mention that I took a risk on the haste spell, because that was meant so that I could take somebody out. Like the haste spell would have made it so that I could have just killed somebody next turn, or at least gotten rid of like 2 individuals and put them on the ground so that I could limit your guys' action economies right away. And I lost that gamble. So there was a lot of stuff that could have gone very wrong in that fight, but it went really, really well. And it should have gone extraordinarily well for you guys like it did, because I failed the initial wisdom save, and guess what? The first thing that you do when you fight is like, this guy is stuck in place. What can I do to make his life even more miserable? Oh, I'm gonna make it so that the save that he has to make, he's making that a disadvantage for the foreseeable future. And that just, I mean, and then, because at that point, I should lose. Right? If I didn't have, like, and here's the other thing is, I didn't change anything about that man's stats or abilities or anything in the entire way. The fact of the matter is that if I didn't have an ace in the hole that let me take a shot at winning by unleashing Crimson, you would have just straight up bodied him into the ground with 0 risk. Or I should say with minimal risk, because that fight at the time was 3v1. It was just 3 of you guys acting. Axton was doing nothing, and Huntsman was doing nothing. They didn't join until stuff got ugly. And even then, like, what happened? Iris got knocked to the ground, I think, once or twice. And that was it. Like, that fight... Yeah, I think she only went down twice. Like, that's the thing, is, like, you guys actually sustained very like, you guys really, won that fight. And if you look at it on paper, like, you guys don't... Yeah, there's a few things I have to resolve with that. But overall, that's not concerning, I would say, at this time. It's not concerning. It is something that's going to play into the second season. But yeah. That is something that you guys could try and get some information out of me with too. Like, that's something that you could use a question towards. Shadow did message on the group chat actually saying that nobody knows what they really want to ask. You could ask about that. Like, if you have any, like, glaring questions or things that you... Like, everybody has questions. It's just whichever one you kind of think is the most important. I know you're spoiled by choice and you got anxiety of what you could get, but... You guys know about you and I spoke about... Yes. I am going to deal with that this weekend. I don't know when. I don't know if I'm going to deal with it today or tomorrow. Probably at some point. But before I go into work Sunday night, I'm planning to deal with it on my end. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that matter. Alrighty. So one of the things I considered creating content for is how to do monster battles. The problem is that it's so nuanced and hard to elaborate on that it's very there's so much calculations that it's hard for me to put it into measurement. And it only works specifically with 5th edition. It doesn't work with any other edition because of the way that 5th edition works mechanically, which is the worst part about it. You can approach with the same principles to other things, but you can't apply the same exact rules because of the way, because 5th edition works differently than most other games when it comes to, for example, how death works, and things like that. So that's something I considered making, not as a YouTube thing, but as a digital creation. I should actually put this in digital creation, or product, I guess would be a better way of putting it. Digital product. I should actually put some spacing in here a little bit differently here. There we go. So, like, that's another thing that I'm thinking about, and I don't even know. So, I'm trying to wrap my head around the plan of what I'm going to do, because the big thing is that, in truth, I need to go elsewhere, right? The real thing is that, I'm going to actually do this here. So the big thing here that matters greatly is, I'm actually going to do this so that it scrolls down correctly on its own, is I need to consider I need to be on other platforms. So need to be on other platforms. Yeah, there we go. And the reason for this is because, plain and simple, Twitch has garbage discovery. Like, honestly, like, unless someone takes an effort, like Darth did, to go to a 0 view streamer or a minimum view streamer, I should say, minimum views streamer, rather, you don't get noticed. You're not gonna go. No one goes to the 0 viewer Andy to see what he's doing. Like, when people go onto Twitch, and there's actually polling data that I've looked at for this too, by the way. Vast majority of people go, and I think it's like 70% of people go to Twitch and find someone new to watch. This is to find someone new, not to find someone that they already watch. Most people actually just go to people that they already have. When they're looking for someone new to watch, the vast majority of people, 70%, go to either recommended for me inside of a gaming category, or they go to highest views inside that gaming category. Because the people that have massive view counts are typically the people that make good content. So if you are already big, it's easy to keep, if you already have attention, it's easy for you to garner more attention. But if you don't have any attention, like in my case, you know, as I say that, streaming to literally to 2 people right now, then no one's gonna find you. And then we get into YouTube. YouTube has powerful algorithms to be discovered. And the reason I know this is that there has been evidence of this shown time and time again, that even as a nobody, you post something that is good, that can attract attention, it will attract attention. But the problem is that, so good algorithm, good discovery, what is it? TikTok also has this. But the other thing also is that it has, the other thing that YouTube has, and I had this on the top of my head, but I can't remember what it was for the life of me now. It also has, it's also up 24/7, which is something that Twitch doesn't have. It's only on for as long as my games are going. And that's the other thing. Long form games, or I should say, as it currently stands, just posting my games. Posting my games, not working. Because as it stands, just posting my just posting the games on YouTube, it's not doing anything. I think there's one that has more than 10 views on them. They aren't gaining any attention. I have other videos that have hundreds of views that, you know, they weren't great videos, but they are getting more views because they talk about topics that people go to YouTube for. So it's one of those things where it's just like, well, it's something that I have to approach in a different way. I need smaller content. I need highlights. I need topics to talk about. I need to make things that people want to talk about in a smaller format than what I currently have, because it's just not working. Something else that's also interesting is TikTok. Now, this is one of those ones that I have a weird relationship with, because I don't actually like TikTok as a how do I say this? It has good discovery, but not a fan of most of the platform. Which I guess it can also be, I can also say that I can say something similar about Twitch on that point as well, because I'm not actually a huge fan of, I'm not actually a big fan of most of the platform. of Twitch either. I can actually show you something that might be really, really cool there, Darth. I'll see if I can find it again. There's this really, really great web based website that you can go to that imports your clips into it's limited, but it's got enough in there for editing software that is designed around you being able to take your clips and then edit them and compile them, if you want to compile them, into posting it for TikTok, YouTube, or YouTube Shorts. So that's actually, I'm gonna see if I can find you that, and I'll make sure to send it to you before the day is out. You will actually probably like this a lot, because you actually have a viewer base that will clip things for you. If not for production value, for spite. So I will send that to you, so you can at the very least create some content out of the pain and suffering that is your stream. I say that being one of them. So I'll be sure to send that to you. I should send that to Shadow too, because I think he'll actually really, really like that. I should actually have a good long conversation. You, me, and Shadow actually should have a really long conversation about approaches and goals and things like that. Like just like stuff to, like, even just to keep each other accountable to, like, things that we're saying, to things that we want to try and do and whatnot. Like we should do something like that, because like, I'm sure that I know you talk to Glitchy a lot about a lot of things, because one, he's your mod, but he also does, if I remember correctly, he does editing for you. Like, you guys are, you know, well knit to each other. So, you know, you have that. But I think Shadow and myself would benefit from, at the very least, talking with each other. And main reason I want to talk to you at the very least is I can tell that at minimum you're serious about trying to do something with this. Whereas most people that I talk to, they're kind of like, yeah, I'll press the go live button. And while I'm kind of like that with my streams, because my focus is primarily getting the game going and playing the game and running the game, I make that very clear about that when I'm running, but I still want to be able to reach out to people and make content. So so I'm probably going to have a slightly different approach than you guys do. But I think us talking to each other At the very least, keeping in contact and keeping up with what each other's doing would be good, at least for each other's growth, if nothing else. So back to TikTok. So I'm not a fan of TikTok for a lot of reasons. Hey, happy to remind you. You still need to play Undertale. Another reminder for you. I'm gonna keep bugging you about that until you play it. Like, I know it's gonna be you reading a lot. I know it's gonna be you doing voices and reading out a lot of text and things like that, and I know that tires you out, but believe me, you will be very glad that you played this game, because it's really good. It's really fun. There's some wholesome to it. You'll like it. Let's see here. So the main thing about TikTok is that I'm not a fan of the platform, but its discoverability is just so good. One of the cons with this, and I actually should with this, is that if not for Twitch, I can record for YouTube. Yeah, that's something that you can always do. I mean, it's a low, trust me, you can run this game and be able to play it, so it won't be a problem. It's a very resource minimum game. I may actually be able to stream it with this computer. Like, it's like a Super Nintendo game. Like, it's very minimally demanding. Maybe more like an N64 game, but still. You should be able to be able to run it no problem. One of the cons of TikTok, and this is one of the things that I really dislike about it, is that Canada has no compensation plan. This is the one big thing that really sucks about TikTok in Canada, is that there is a zero compensation plan. You cannot make money off this in Canada. It's one of the things that really sucks about it. Both YouTube and Twitch have compensation plans. YouTube, you have to kind of exist in order to get it, which is fine. I understand that. Same thing, Twitch, you can get it, but because of how small you are, you get minimal out of it. TikTok, you cannot get paid out of it, or unless that's been changed in the last few months, because this is one of those things that you just it's just the thing, unfortunately, because I know content creators for Canada and they don't make any money off of it. They make money other ways. So that's one of the other big things, is like you can make content on there. So this would be, so like if I were to make content for TikTok, this would be pure discoverability. Purely discovery, which is fine. It makes it worth it in of itself, but it's just one of those things that, you know, kind of blows. So I know I have this set as D&D, and I am talking about D&D in general, but this is kind of like the one thing about I'm talking about for platforms. So my plans, basically, actually I should do this. So my plans basically for Twitch is, I should actually do it. I'm gonna do it this way. Plans. Plans. So essentially, here's where I'm kind of at. What the heck is going on here? There we go. Actually, let's do it this way. So here's kind of where I'm at with all this. everything being said so far. Plain. Oh my goodness. So, as it stands, my current plans are basically for the following. So, for Twitch, it's... let me see here, make sure I'm actually spacing this out correctly. Here we go. So, my plans for Twitch is just do live games. And the occasional world building building. I've done community, I've done like viewer-based world building and stuff like that. There's lots of stuff that happens in there. I think that might actually be one word. No, that's definitely 2 words. Okay. World building streams. And both of these are going to be like, you know, currently 1 a week. And that's just pretty much how it's going to have to be, because I don't think I can actually dedicate excessive amounts of time. So this would be like 3.5 hours. And this would be like 2.5 hours. Like, we're already at 6 hours there, right? And that's 6 hours of a week. And it's one of those things that I actually have this on my wall, which I probably actually could just take a picture of it. You know what? I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to take a picture of this thing and put it up on the stream. Stand by. Let's see here. Where's my camera? There we go. Should be just sending it to myself there. There we go. Oh, because oh, okay, fine. I'll just send it to my... there we go. I have a dump channel that I'll just send it to. There we go. Should be able to... There we go. I don't want that. Let's save image. There we go. Fine, save image. Come on. Fine, let's do it this way. Can I save image this way? I want to save the damn image. There we go. All right, here we go. So, like, here we go. So, I have this literally posted on my wall, which is the current breakdown. I sat down for a day and just tore apart my week. What I do in my week, how I spend my time, and everything. And I discovered that, one, I waste a ton of time doing nothing. And there's a lot of ways to make my time more efficient than it currently is. But one of the things that I discovered in general was just how much time I actually waste doing absolutely nothing. And one of those things is I spend about... Where's my... Just making sure everything's coming through all right. Is that I spend approximately 20 hours a week doing absolutely nothing. Like, there's things that I can do in here that make my life a little bit more efficient. Like, for example, one of the things that I don't like is that I only spend about 14 hours a week with my family. Which is, in truth, not nearly as much as I would like to. But, you know, there's only so much you can do about that. Like, that's 2 hours a night during the week, and then 2 hours... Like, if it's an hour a night during the week, and then it's 2.5 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Like, it's very minimal a lot of the time. And then 4 hours with the wife is just, like, literally her and me. No one else. Family is, like, me and my daughter, or me and my wife. But still, I waste a lot of time not doing a whole lot. Which I leave about 20 hours a week open. Which is 3 hours a day. Or, if you look on the far side over here, that's 26 work weeks in a year. If you could quit your job for 26 weeks and build something, how much would you be able to accomplish? Right? Like, if I were to be able to quit my job, 26 weeks, what is that? That's 6 months? If I had 6 months of work time available to me to do every kind of recording, editing, writing, world building, like, you name it, all that stuff. The amount that I would be able to achieve in that time span, anybody would be able to achieve in that time span, would be crazy. Oh, hi, sweetie. What are you doing up? It's a little early. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. Luna. Outside. Luna. Outside. Outside. No, off. Outside. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I assume you got up for a little bit there, Darth. Yeah, this is basically me taking apart my entire week and going, okay, how do I spend my time? Because what you spend your time on is what you're going to become. So obviously, like, there's a lot of stuff in here that, you know, that is necessary. It got smudged a little bit when I was doing D&D from my hand when I was working on it, but like, if I run a single game, I have about 7 hours a week that I run D&D between prep and running the game. Like, I'm dedicating 7 hours to it. And that's like everything, right? That's map building, that's writing out everything, that's dealing with things that players need help with. That's everything. But I discovered that, you know, 20 hours a week is being left on the wayside basically being like, you know, watching videos that like I'm not even happy that I'm watching them when I'm watching them. Like, just needlessly just sitting down and scrolling through my phone doing nothing. Like, there's so much that I could be doing. To be fair, most of the time when I'm watching your stream, it's when I'm at work and you're just in my ear. And when I do have your stream open, I'm often sitting there with just listening and working on something else when I am at home. Best part of the day. Yeah, sure. But yeah, like I was wasting 20 hours a week doing nothing. So that's 26 work weeks in a year. And I don't know if you heard me say it earlier. But yeah, 26 work weeks in a year. That's half a year. That's 6 months of working at a job. If I had 6 months of working at a job to be able to dedicate to, like, even just this, right? Nothing else, just this. If I spent 40 hours a week for half a year working on the things that I would. Okay. Like, that's a lot of stuff. So much. And a lot of it is like, and it's not like I didn't know any of this, right? Like, we all know these things. It's just we're not conscious of it. But anyways, back to this. So next on the list is YouTube. So obviously I have to, in order to achieve something on YouTube, I gotta figure out what kind of content. And like, I can talk about topics. Not tonics. Talk about topics I like. There's always that. But I can't dedicate, you know, like that's 6 hours right there, right? So we're already at 6 hours from Twitch. Actually, we'll do this. This one. Six hours, all right? If I'm going with the assumption that I've only got, and most of this can fit inside like the D&D prep time, like we can fit 3 hours of that into the D&D prep time, but if I only have, say, 23 hours, 24 hours, say we have 24 hours, well, there goes 6 of it right there. And just running and building the game that I want to run. And this isn't including, and this also isn't including things that I also want to do, which is all the one-shots. Actually, one-shots isn't even a good statement. World events would be a better way of putting it, and that's 3 hour, honestly 3.5 hour dedications on their own. Whoops. Ideally that would be once a week. Once or twice a week. And that's immediately going to be 3.5 to 7 hours. So now we're at, you know, anywhere from 9 to 12 hours a week, right? Like, ideally, when everything's going, 9 to 12 hours a week on Twitch. Like, that's already a lot. Right? And I don't know if I can even do that as is, even if I were to abandon stuff with YouTube. And that's kind of like where I'm kind of coming to, is like, hold on, I gotta do a lot. So I may actually just have to abandon the world building streams just to be able to fit everything. I know in order to make this work, I have to do stuff outside of Saturdays. Like, there's just no way around that, which sucks for me because I work a full-time job. I have to worry about my daughter. I have to worry about spending time with them and everything. And there's stuff that I try to achieve throughout the week. And I mean, after you've worked for 8 hours, traveled for 1, and slept for 6, half the day is gone. Like, not even half. Like, 2/3 of the day is gone. Between dinner, trying to spend a little bit of time with my family, it's already kind of hard to find time to fit things. So, but that's another conversation for another time. So, talk about topics I like. And then you're tired and want to relax, but you have more to do. Like a slightly tired state is the state that I'm always in, so it doesn't really affect anything. For example, this week, part of the reason why I didn't get a whole lot done, even though I still managed to get most of my notes back this week, is I worked 56 hours this week. Like, I worked a ton of overtime this week. And that's solely because I have a car bill that I had to pay. Like, I had to get $1,400 in brake work done on my vehicle, which was literally our rent. Like, we had to throw our rent check at it, and then I had to work, and now I'm working overtime just to be able to make sure that we can make rent, because we're already a little late on it. We have some leeway, fortunately, in that in our paying. So, like, we contacted them and said, hey, our car broke down. In order for me to be able to, continue to pay, I have to get it fixed. You're gonna see it a little late, but yeah, like, I got $1,400 in labor done, and that's with me finding a good mechanic. By the way, if I went to a couple of these other scumbags, they were gonna charge me $2,000 or more. Because, well, here's the thing: is that it's one of those things where in Canada we have a minimum. We have a lot of stuff about evictions in Canada, so you can you can bully your superintendents and your landlords a little bit. Mostly because of how cold it gets here, you can bully them a little bit. But like, we told them, you'll get the check, you'll get your payment by the end of the month, and we'll still be able to pay next. It's just you're gonna see it late this month. Daddy. Hey, sweetie, what's up? Oh, you putting the hat on top of the book? Hi, Luna. Can you not get right in my face? I appreciate that. Thank you. Go throw your own toy. It's fine. But yeah, so, like, everything terrible happened that could have happened that one weekend. My computer died. The brakes failed. Fortunately, we were in a parking lot, and then I found out it was going to cost me $1,400 to fix, and that was all in the span of 24 hours. That day really sucked. Oh man. So that aside, topics. Oh, 1 second. Okay. Wife just needed a little bit something. She's in the shower. Needed a towel. So one of the things that comes with YouTube is I'm actually gonna change this. So we're gonna change this to script writing. What else needs to happen? Recording, which I'm still debating on, which, by the way, this is one of those things that also matters, is I need to establish, before I even do any of this, video style. Because actually it should be a no, that's right, video style. Because I don't have one, and I don't know what kind that I'm gonna have. Like one of the ones that I have, I think it's Jump Cut that I have an account with, and one of the things that they do is they help you do a lot of dissecting of how to build your own YouTube channel. And I've seen a lot of good results come out of it. I might go through that. I might redo that course. Because I have it for life, I think. I have to double check. If not, I'll just go through my notes again. But yeah, I need to figure out how I'm gonna get through everything. I also have to, like, because I have nothing on here right now for my for YouTube. Like I think I rebuilt one script. I've got around to grabbing Audacity again, because I'm probably gonna do more of like a audio based one. But so there's recording, then there's editing, and then there's the whole YT side of the I guess it would be posting. And and each of these things are their own nightmare. Like I have to learn how to do half of it, like 2/3 of this, because I don't really understand most of it. Not well. I'd have to relearn a lot of this, because most of what ends up on YouTube is just, you know, full cuts with no descriptions, no editing done, nothing. It's just repostings. And it makes sense as to why it has like 0 attention because of that. And a lot of people have like their streams and their podcasts and things that they like to listen to, and it's hard to pick up another one. Which is part of the reason why I try to do smaller adventures with people, as opposed to like full-blown, you know, level 1 to 15 campaigns, and we're gonna follow these characters for 160 sessions. You know, like a 3-year long endeavor. It's like it's not. First off, that's very hard to do feasibly unless you have a bunch of content creators that are willing to put that kind of time into each other. But it's also just, it's hard to get people involved if the story requires them to be along for that long to know what's going on. Which is why I try to cut things up into seasons also. Because that way you have things set up as, you know, you can watch this to this and kind of have a start to finish kind of adventure. What time is it? Okay. I'm gonna go for probably 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and that's it. Depending upon how long it takes for me to get my ideas down. And that's just like to get that started. Like that's what's required in that. So like, topics. I want to talk about is one content idea. The thing is, I'm trying to think of stuff that is sustainable for creating video after video after video. Like you can always talk about another topic. But one of the reasons why I can't do like monster creation is I don't really know of a way that I can, there needs to be a system like there's a system that it needs to be implemented in order for me to do that. And the problem is that I've already got a video. Like on can't use the CR system, or I should say 5e CR system, because it doesn't work. It's bad. Because here's a good example. Without including any of the Crimson-oriented stuff that this guy had, where is it? Stonegrind is considered to be a CR9 creature. Right? Like, he's supposed to be a challenge rating 9 creature. You guys fought him and kind of smacked him into the ground. Like, even if he didn't have the, what's it called? Like, even if he didn't have the out card and you didn't have, and you didn't, like, stun him for the entire, for half the fight, and he did break free, even so, you get rid of all the extra stuff I've given the players, which isn't a huge amount. It's enough, but it's not a huge amount. Then this is considered a reasonable challenge for a party of 4 at level 9. And it's just like, no, a level 9 party is gonna just stomp that creature into the ground. Like, no problems. So it's one of those things where the CR system is just bad. So I have to establish my own system to try and elaborate, you know, how powerful player characters are against a monster. And then, but then that comes back to the other problem, which is, how do you get the average viewer to jump on board with that? And it's just like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's hard to say. I have to build my own, like, challenge rating system in order to be able to get people, or monster power system in order to be able to establish something that is more consistent. Which is its own problem. Let's see here. Creations. I'll just do this. Like, do a monster power system of some kind, and maybe I can start doing like a monster creation. But stream or videos where it's like, hey, I create a monster utilizing the thing, and then at the end I can always just do a compiled, you know, thing with artwork and all that at the end. But that's a whole other problem. But even all this together, like script writing, editing, all this, like, this takes hours. And I'm not concerned about putting up like a YouTube video a week or anything like that, but just on its own, making one of these takes, like, you know, it takes like 12 to 16 hours just to make this thing, you know, correctly with all the polish that I want. And it'd be one of those things, like, I only be able to make 1 or 2 of these, like maybe 2 of these a month sort of thing. Like, it'd be one of those things where I'd have to go like the Russian Badger route, where I make very few but make them really, really good, is the only way that I think I could actually do this. Square brackets. Like, I think that's where I'm at with that. Time investment. That should actually be our time investment. So that should be like overall. And this is like its own nightmare, which is unknown. So there's a few other ideas that I've been bouncing around in my own head, and it sounds stupid, but it's one of those things, like, I'm just gonna put it up there anyways. But that is, like, just offering myself as, like, an aid to other people as a DM, like, as a side DM for, like, time, as someone that, like, as paid for time. Like, that's one of the other things. Like, this is all about monetization and things like that as well. But one of the ideas is, like, doing, like, you even call it coaching. It's kind of silly. But it's one of those things where it's just, like, if someone asks me questions, in Discord right now, like, honestly, I almost always answer them just because I'm available to do so. But if someone wanted me to, like, review a video of one of their sessions, or they want me, like, kind of speaking things into their shoulder while during a live game, or just, like, very heavily critique stuff for them, that's something I could do, but I don't know how I would even approach that. That's a whole other thing. It's just an idea swimming in my head. It might be a dumb idea. I don't know. I don't know. So, back to the last thing, though, which is the thing that I actually really just don't like the platform of, but I can't deny its usefulness, is TikTok. And the big thing about TikTok is I don't even know. It's like I have to make 30-second, well, 15 to 30-second, because there's no way I'm making stuff longer. Content. It's not clips, it's content. That's the big thing that matters. Is that it's 15 to 30-second content. One of the things that Luna. One second. Hey, what's your deal? Off. What's your... No, off. What's your deal? Hey, what's your deal? Hey? Busy right now. Oh, wait. Ugh. Dog pestering the cat. And the cat just wants to be left alone. My goodness. So one of the things that I consider doing is usable my word, I can't. Okay, let's start this over. Describe actions. So, like, one of the things that I consider doing is, like, doing a very because it's 15 to 30 seconds tops, right? And I'm not gonna make content that's like 2 minutes long. That's dumb. So, is describe actions. So this would be something like casting a spell, for example. And then I would go through, I would literally describe the thing and then with it, have basically a information for a card that you could try and create, could use. So like it would have script, components. So it would have a script. It would have I don't know exactly how I would even like capture it, like maybe myself talking with a background or something. I don't know. But this is a whole other thing. Like, if I had the hardware for it, I'd do an After Effects. This would be one of those things that, you know, could do. But the whole point is like casting a spell. So like you describe basically the RP of casting a spell. Actually, I should put this. RP casting a spell. So like I would have a script of like casting a fireball spell or something to that nature, where it's just interesting.
Why is she?
Because she was attacking, well, not attacking, but kept going after the cat. And I kept telling her no, and he didn't want anything of it, so I'm like, okay, fine, you can go in there for a few minutes. Cool off a little. I'm going to be done in about 10 minutes here. At least I think 10 minutes. I won't be on for too much longer if it's not. I'll probably talk with other people a little bit more at length individually about ideas and things like that. That's something that I really should do, is just talk to other content creators about ideas, bounce ideas a little bit more, rather than just kind of off my wife and off myself. You swollen? Yeah, so is my toe. Oh,
Hard.
yeah. Like bloating and tension. That's not pleasant.
Pregnancy test is negative, so I don't know what it is.
It might be stress, but I don't know. We'll see if we'll consult some ideas later for that, or some possibilities for it, and see what we can do about it in a bit. I think once you like are up for a little bit and burn some energy, I think you'll be okay. Get a little breakfast into you, you know. Downloadable. Copyable, actually, is what I should say. Copyable. And I think that's pretty much it for TikTok, though. Like, I can't think of a bunch of things to do for TikTok other than, like, you know, Twitch clip highlights, which I can't do now because all my Twitch streams have passed in their time on Twitch. So I'd have to go into YouTube, download the broadcast, the saved broadcast, and then clip it down from the 3-hour video, which is a nightmare to do, just because of its size. Doable, but a nightmare nonetheless. But it might prove to be worthwhile. Do something like that. That's another thing I can do. I think I put that in YouTube as well. This should actually be like this. Is also, I can do highlights. Whoa, what the? This would be like epic moments. 20s. 20s and 1s. Come on, there we go. 20s and 1s. Probably something else if anybody's got a cool idea after that. This can be funny moments as well. But again, like a lot of this is gonna be like super tiring and painful to try and do, and it may yield very little out of it. I don't know, because they're not high traffic collections. I also don't understand highlight reels very well because I don't watch them a lot. So that's something I can always look into. The other thing that I know that I'm working on, which is the crafting system.
Put it back on. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie. What are some other things I'm working on? There's always... Hi, sweetie. Oh. Yeah, that's my hat. Thank you. Do you want to keep the hat for a bit? No? Okay. This can always be class. Archetypes. As well as like spells and items, and the list goes on. The part of the problem with this is that these things don't attract attention. They're things for having. They're things that you give out for having attention. They don't attract attention, I don't think, because anybody can make most of the things that I make. At least I think so, anyways. Maybe I'm just delusional and think that what I do is extraordinarily mundane, and it's not. But that's my own opinion on the matter. Oh man, I am uncertain. Like I have stuff to do. It's just whether it's just a matter of how I'm going to do it, and dedicating the time to doing it. It's really just getting up and doing it, because I have a basic plan of how and what I'm going to do. So this is just gonna be like me spitballing, like probably very well could be just stupid ideas. And this is like just stuff that I just have like kind of floating around in my head, but one of them was coaching. And I don't actually think that... Does coaching have a T in it? No. And I mean, I think this might be like a dumb idea anyways, but I'm just gonna put it in there. And this would be things like reviewing VODs, one-on-one time dedication, you know, things like that. I still want to put in like the DM for hire option in there. These are things I just want to put as options. I don't think I'll actually like get anything out of them, but it always comes back to like, you know, this would be like exactly what it sounds like. And this is one of those things like I've always constantly debated. It's like, should I put myself up out into the general public as someone that you can hire to run a game for you? And there's a whole lot of problems that come with this, and there's a whole lot of paperwork that I have to set up in order to do that. But it's just one of those things, like, if people want to do it, then I want to at least have the option out there. Because if I'm more than happy to put more time aside to do stuff if I'm going to get an immediate payout for it. It's just, which is a bad mentality to have. Because doing stuff that'll be more long-lasting, like the YouTube, or building stuff just for people to be able to download and use, is always better. But you know, it's just one of those things. Like, I want to do this for, you know, as my day job eventually. So it's one of those things where it's just like I might as well just put it out there now, even if it doesn't attract any attention. Obviously, I want to create products, and that's kind of where the creation stuff kind of comes in. But some of it needs to be but like one of the ones that is adventures. And I think this is going to go hand in hand with a lot of this stuff here. And that's going to be create adventures, and it's going to be using own systems. And part of the a couple of things has come out of this is like I have to have in order to do this right, I'd have to hire artists. And there's no way I wouldn't do that without like hiring an artist. Plain and simple. Like I would have to hire someone to do artwork for me or give them a royalty or something. There's no way around that. There's absolutely no way around me doing this without putting proper polish into it. Like if I'm gonna make a product of some kind. And this is all just ideas I'm spitballing, like just throwing out there. But the main thing that I want to do with my content creation from here forward is I need to like do YouTube and TikTok stuff. This honestly per TikTok, honestly, this could really well be like 2 hours of my time. Like per TikTok. It could very well only take me 2 hours to get a recording right, to do a proper script, to get everything kind of finalized and written out in a way that looks nice for people to download. It probably wouldn't even take me that long to do. It's just, I don't know if TikTok is, I just don't like the TikTok environment. But maybe it's my saving grace. Who knows? Maybe it's my road to the way forward. It is for a lot of people. So, who knows? Maybe we'll see. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen on the Oh, this is where the other thing has to happen here. Oh boy. Discord side of things. Okay. Boy, oh boy. This is my own, what's it called? My own thing that I have to braid myself is be more active. I need to be more active on there. Full stop. Actually, you know what? Yeah, full stop. Because I am not, and I need to be. Not most. Post. Post regularly. Run. Text RP. Not PR. RP. Run text RP rather than letting it just sit. Because that's what I have been doing. I might set up a play-by-post. This is a bit of a. This is a more of a question mark. A play-by-post, no. PBEP, no. Play by. I should actually just put it. The problem with play-by-post is that it means that I have to do something where, I have to create maps for a lot of stuff, and it's going to require me to put a ton of time into creating maps because of the way I'm going to set it up. I think it'd be one of those things where I don't know how I would do that. That's a big question mark. That's a possibility. Because, I mean, already the text RP is kind of like that, but the idea is that anything that has to be resolved through exploration, anything that's not social, so anything that has to be resolved through exploration or combat, has to be done in Roll20 as it stands. So done in Roll20. And that's the other thing, is I don't want to use Roll20. I hate using Roll20, truth be told. It's such a slow system. Like, it does not run very fast. But it just works. I considered using something like Owlbear, but the problem with Owlbear is that it doesn't have, unless it has changed somewhere along the way, it doesn't have a character sheet system. And right now my character sheet system is just keeping track of everything in part in my OneNote, which honestly is just fine, but it's not great. So that aside, overall, all right, I'm gonna do a takeaway. So I'm gonna do a takeaway here. I know I've been kind of just doing like a rant on all this, but it's one of those things where I think if I actually articulate it, especially with the assumption that people are listening, I might do it a little bit. I might actually, do it a little better. So takeaways: focus more on YT and TikToks and TikTok over Twitch. The other thing also is make sheets, make fillable sheets for the 3 listed things, which is pre-session 0, post season, and what was the last one? The last one was, if I remember correctly, world player fill out. World player sign world sign up, world player signups. What was the other thing? Be more active in Discord. Actually, and to do this, check links, because most of those are probably broken at this point. Most of them are probably broken at this point, which I hate. I don't know why they keep breaking. I put them up as lifetime, but they keep changing. Let's see here. Other stuff I need to do is fix Twitch about page. That's just something that I need to do in general. What's another thing that I kind of came down across here? Brainstorm. Brainstorm creation stuff, and that's like the monster power things. That's the crafting system, the class archetypes of spells, and whatnot. I need a place to actually store all that. That's not on Discord. Like, I need a good place to actually just store stuff. So I actually need that as well. I guess for now it can be Google Drive. I guess for the time being that works, but that'll only work for so long. Anything else I'm kind of missing here? For the most part, everything else is just kind of keep going with what I got. Oh. Keep the games. I need to put this down. Keep the games rolling, because that's the main. Because that's. It's what this is. It's what this is all about, and that's running the games, and that's just like keep the games rolling. That's pretty much my takeaways from this, honestly, at this point, because there isn't really. That's most of my takeaways at this point. Focus more on the YouTube and TikTok side of things. Make form fillable sheets. I need to make 3 of them. 2 of them are very necessary now. I want to get all 3 of them done sooner rather than later. You know, be more active on Discord. I'm very inactive on Discord, and I think that really needs to change. What the heck was that? Oh, okay. You know, like there's a lot of things that I can change about that, but that's definitely one of them. Where was I? Fix Twitch about stuff, fix YouTube, actually it should be fix Twitch, YT, TikTok, Twitter, about stuff. Like, all those need to be fixed greatly. They need to be adjusted, put to be more accurate, up-to-date links, up-to-date stuff. Brainstorm creation stuff. I need to put, like, notes down, all of it. I have, like, ideas in my own creation system, but I have to adjust it again. I'm finding that there's a lot of, like, problems with the way that I'm setting it up as it currently is, because it doesn't fit the 5th edition creation space. It'd be one of those things like I'd have to build my entire... I'd have to rebuild an entire RPG system in order to be able to make it work exactly the way I want, which is something that a nightmare that I don't want to endure right now, not while trying to run games. Find a place to store all my creations. The Google Drive is not a bad idea, but I don't like sending people to Google Drive for a multitude of reasons. And then keep games rolling, which is just something I'm going to try and do in general. I have to recruit more people, honestly. I have 2 people right now. I have to follow up with, I think, 3 potentials from, like, that people. I think 3 or 4 people that I said had potential back in when I was first started recruiting for Family's Birthright. But a lot of them either couldn't do it because of certain time constraints, or because of because of current time constraints or some other reason. When it comes to what was it? What was I about to say? But beyond that, I may have to, like, branch out and bring in people that have played before and see if they want to join in. As it stands, it's going to be a Saturday game for sure. It's the only day that's available for one of the guys that is currently looking to play, just because of his time schedule, and I'm actually okay with that. Saturday is honestly one of the better days for a main game anyways, so I'm probably not going to do Saturday evening. I'll probably do something like Saturday afternoon as opposed to the middle of the night, just because it's easier to structure my own life around it. Or maybe I'll do it, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But I need to get those one-shots rolling. With the computer finally kind of up and running, and it looks like most of the things with the stream going just fine. Things will hopefully be working okay. I hope that they do. There will be some testing to do with things like whether or not Roll20 will work, whether or not I'm going to have to swap over to Owlbear, which is something I really don't want to have to do, just because of how limited it is. But if that's a necessity that I have to endure in order to be able to run games online, then so be it. Alright, I've gone a little bit longer than I already wanted to. Thank you so much, everybody, for swinging by that did. Really appreciate it. I'll be around sometime again. I don't know. We'll see. Things are a little bit in the air right now, but hopefully I'll have a date for Session 0 with the new campaign in the near future, and hopefully do something like a world building stream or something like that soon. I might just do my recording sessions as streams as well, depending upon what topic it is I'm talking about. Who knows? We'll see. But really appreciate everyone that swung by, and until next time, guys, have... Oh, nope. There we go. Have a good day.